What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again. God, you're getting regular uploads. I don't know what's going on. This video is just a combination of a few bits, really. There is a few transfer rumours in which I would have kept till Friday, but I'm just so fucking excited. I just want to talk about them now. Everton have been linked with Lautaro Martinez, Koulibaly. We've been linked with Vasquez. We've been linked with Romaguli. There is so many good players Everton are being linked with from either Syria or Spain that it's quite refreshing, you know. And it looks like Everton are setting their stall out early when it comes to transfers this season, which is what I am desperate for. Get these players in. They haven't got much of a pre-season with us because obviously some of these players have got the European tournaments. They'll have tournaments in their own nations, or they'll have international games. And Everton need to get that core group of players playing together. Carlo Ancelotti managed to do that fantastically well last season. You know, literally, Alan, Decore and Rodriguez all started the first game against Spurs. Everton looked fantastic, but they'd only had a week or two to set in. So it's really, really exciting that we could potentially have some really top players coming to Everton Football Club this summer. And they can bed in quite quickly under Carlo's scholarship. So look, I'm really excited about that. And let's just talk about what that adds. You know, Everton have lacked at times creativity. They've lacked at times defensive ability. You know, we've conceded 37 goals. We've scored 40. You know, we've not done a great job in terms of, we've either been too defensive and not been able to score, or we've been too attacking and we've conceded goals. It's not really been that balance, and that's not Carlo's fault. That is the squad of players that have been bought over the last 4 or 5 years under very poor recruitment, very poor managers, very poor directors of football, and have fundamentally cost Everton. I mean, if you think about that team that Roberto Martinez had, where he had a Ross Barkley who was playing well, he had a Romelu Lukaku, a Morales, a Deulofeu at times, or another winger who could do the job. He had a very strong Gareth Barry, McCarthy. You know, that Everton team was really good, certainly in his first season, that team that Martinez built. Carlo was put back years. You know, he's inherited a team that have managed to roll players over. You know, Vlasic, Lookman, Klassen. These aren't bad players, but they didn't work under the managers that we had at the time, which was a Ronald Koeman and a Steve Walsh directorship. Marco Silva obviously was there for some of those players. Balassi was also part of that. We weren't good enough, and it has set us back years. We went from being a team that you could argue was a top 6, top 5 team, and underperformed, finishing 11th and 12th in the last 2 seasons under Martinez. Then we made some signings, and Koeman took us to, I think it was 7th, and we got European football, but we did pants. We did absolutely pants. And then Carlo's having to come in and rebuild that and buy experienced, top quality players, which is going to cost Everton money, but the positive is we've got a lot of players that are leaving. We've got a lot of players at the end of their contracts. You know, we're going to save on wages. We already started that process beforehand. And it's a little bit of a joke that, for example, Mohamed Besic is the second longest serving player at Everton Football Club. Like, what? So, for me, this summer is massive for Everton Football Club. And being linked with these players hopefully means that we're going to go for that sort of pedigree player. Now, I'm not expecting Everton to be able to spend hundreds of millions of pounds. I'm not. But if the prices in Serie A have significantly dropped because of the turmoil that league is in, well, that's not a negative for teams like Everton, like Leeds, like Villa, who will want to invest. Then it comes the other news that UEFA may well be scrapping financial fair play. And I'm telling you now, the floodgates may open. This could be an opportunity for Everton to go, right, we've had to sort of be gentle with our spending over 5 years, not being too stupid with financial fair play and all of that stuff. Now, maybe Mashiri will say, well, do you know what? Let's go hard once, go big once, and get this team to where we want to get them, so we walk into that stadium as a top 4 consistent side, because it's not going to be loads to bridge that gap. We've saw Leicester do it on a relatively tight budget. Don't get me wrong, they've got money to spend, but they've not been frivolous with it. They've signed well. You know, Tillemans, 25 million, I think it was, bargain. Maddison, 17 million, bargain. Jamie Vardy, $1.5 million, bargain. Ashley Barnes, one of their own, not Ashley Barnes, sorry, Barnes, Harvey Barnes, one of their own. You know, Leicester have done really well to get to where they are. So Everton need to show their financial muscle, show what we're all about. And we did that when we brought in Carlo Ancelotti. People all of a sudden looked at Everton and went, you know what? They mean business now. You know, pundits were saying, we mean business, we're going in the right direction. And yes, towards the end of this season, it has been disappointing. I'm not going to sit here as an Everton fan and saying I'm not disappointed. But equally, we knew this. Me and John at the start of the season said this could be a rough season for Everton. This is a sort of building season for Everton. And it's very much been like that. You know, we've seen hundreds of different styles of play. One that involve just constantly all-out pressure and constantly attacking teams. And we were winning games by 5-2, 4-3, 4-1, 4-0, 3-1. You know, at the start of the season, we went 7 games unbeaten. Or 7 straight wins. Then you go to the middle of the season where we're not winning games. We're trying to play the same football. We've had injuries. Allen, Decore, Luca Dean, all been injured. Richarlison with a 3-game ban. You know, all of that stopped the momentum and we had to sort of pick that back up again. And we did it around Christmas. You know, we did it again. But again, it wasn't playing the expansive, the aggressive, the quick-flowing football. It was playing with 8 men behind the ball and getting goals on the counter. You know, we beat Leicester, we beat Arsenal, we beat Chelsea doing that. And we got outgunned in terms of possession, in terms of shots, in every single game. But what we managed to do was have enough to get them results. And that was where your players like Godfrey really stepped up. Really showed what he's capable of. Really proved to everyone that he is the best centre-back at Everton Football Club. In my humble opinion, he is the best centre-back at Everton Football Club. And I will go further than that. I genuinely believe this is one of the best centre-backs that we've signed, certainly in the Premier League era. I think he will be that good. So that's encouraging. And with UEFA's potential financial fair play at least being less of an issue, that is helping teams where the top 6s or the top 2s or the top 3s have tried to do these breakaway leagues. It's giving teams the opportunity to catch these teams. You know, catch the teams like Arsenal, who are still somehow considered a top 6 team, although they haven't been top 6 for something like 3 years now or whatever it is. You know, or a Spurs who look quite ropey under Mourinho and potentially could go either way if they lose Kane and Son in the summer. It gives Everton a chance to catch these boys a little bit quicker than what I think we would do if we couldn't invest as heavy. So I'm excited. Like, this could be huge news. Now, let's also mention as well about the stadium. Obviously, Everton have gone through such a fantastic process of sorting out literally all of the I's, crossing all of the T's to get this stadium in place. You know, they've done analysis with the fans. They've got everyone involved, including like UNESCO and Heritage Liverpool and all of these different businesses and groups who may oppose plans at the dock. And Liverpool as a city is a beautiful city, but that particular dockland, its beauty is hidden behind the fact that it's sort of been derelict or disused, apart from the few concert venues, for years. You know, I've driven past the Titanic and on that dock road, and you can sort of see that the docks have been let down a little bit over the years because obviously the investment, which we all know where the issue comes from there, so I don't need to mention it again. And that's another worrying thing for Liverpool City Council and also Liverpool. So look, my heart's with you all. I had this conversation with John today, and I'm dreading it for Liverpool City. But nevertheless, that area will get that investment that it's needed for years by Everton building the stadium. You know, by keeping some of the features there, by building into the brickwork. Everton will make that place look amazing, and so will the peer group as a whole. So for me, it was mad. Some of the issues that have sort of cropped up as a result of like World Heritage Site and all of that shit. It's ridiculous. So for me, yeah, it's exciting. Liverpool, the council have been a bit naughty. I don't know the full story, so I'm really not gonna like try and blow into it. And obviously, if you guys know more about the story, please put it in the comments, because I'm interested to know what's happened. But you know, I think Joe Anderson's been mentioned in some sort of corruption charge, along with some of the other government members for the Liverpool City Council, and obviously that has meant that the government has potentially had to step in. Now that could have a negative effect on Liverpool. We all know this is a Conservative government which have notoriously been awful towards Liverpool over 50, 60 years. To be honest, as long as my family go back, they haven't got a positive word to speak about a Conservative government. They haven't. And that's why, you know, I'm not a Tory. But I don't know what it means for Liverpool, and I equally don't know what it means for the stadium. Now, there was some pathetic WhatsApp message going around that some red shite had wrote, which involved Rob Elkston. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll make it pop up on the screen now. It involved Rob Elkston, who left the club, 2.5 years ago now, and his name's Rob Elston, not Elkston, involving Bill Kenwright, Chong, Mashiri, all of the people involved with the Everton stadium, as it's not going to happen, which is just a load of it's just some fantasy made up by some Liverpool fan, which is embarrassing, but I'm not surprised. Get what I'm saying? So, for me, Everton probably don't need to worry about the stadium, because it's not like Everton got involved with Liverpool City Council regarding the funding. It's not like Everton have got involved with Liverpool City Council for any of the other bits and bobs of it. They've just used Joe Anderson as a mechanism to get some land opportunities, and obviously Joe Anderson, from what I understand, introduced Peel and Everton, and as a result they bought the site, etc. Great. But I think that is about it. So I'm hoping that this stadium isn't implicated in some way, and I suspect it won't be. So that's positive. Apart from that, it's quite a boring week, isn't it? I mean, internationals, I can't stand international week, especially the friendlies. You know, I get behind the team in tournaments. I love tournament football. But I struggle with these friendlies against dead teams. You know, teams that are not good ballers. Teams that, you know, probably teams in our conference would give a game to. And that's disappointing, certainly when you play San Marino. But I don't get it. And this England team as well. And I'm not going to go off the bat on this one, but Jesus Christ, this England team was shocking. How Eric Dyer has got in front of either Michael Keane or, more importantly, more specifically for me, Ben Godfrey. You know, I don't get what the attraction was of sticking him on the under-21s. I don't get it. But then maybe they're saving him for the tournament. I don't know. I don't get it. But for me, Ben Godfrey should have been in that England team, along with a few others. Patrick Bamford has probably had, at least recently, if we base these teams on form, he's probably been in better form than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Let's all, you know, jokes aside. And I'm not saying Dominic Calvert-Lewin shouldn't be in the team, but what I'm saying is they should have made room for Bamford. And I felt a little bit sorry for Patrick Bamford. You know, he's 27 years old. He hasn't really played at the high level because he's been loyal to Leeds, and obviously he was at Chelsea years ago. He's had a really good season and he deserved a call-up. And there's several players in this league that have deserved a call-up, and yet again, they have not got it. And that I just find it's typical. Southgate has gone from being a man that I thought would drive the youth into this side, and when he first come in, I thought, yes, he's doing a good job with what he had, to now I look at him and I go, you're just a yes man. You're just a yes man that got lucky taking us to a semi-final in a World Cup, when the only decent team that we played, we went to penalties and just about won. And when we got to the semi-finals, Croatia turned us over. So for me, yeah, I'm not happy about it, but equally, I'm not either that arsed. But for me, Ben Godfrey should have been in that England side by some distance. I think it was a real shame that he wasn't included. So yeah, that is about it, guys. I just thought I'd do a quick video. I hope you enjoy it. I will speak to you soon. Obviously, we did a transfer show Tuesday and Friday, so make sure you tune into that. Sometimes it'll be live, sometimes it'll be pre-recorded. And last night went out as a premiere, so that our subscribers got to watch it first. So if you are new to the channel, subscribe, and like this video. We really appreciate it. And also, if you just copy this link and share it to one friend and ask them to watch it, we would really appreciate that. Guys, I'm leaving it there. Stay safe, keep smiling, and remember, up the toffees. Peace.